Hello and welcome back to Talk About Strange. Happy New Year. I can't believe I haven't seen you guys in a year. Now I'm just playing around. Man, let's get started to a really good year. The channel's going really good. We are almost up to 10,000 subscribers. I can't even believe it. But it's all thanks to you guys. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all the comments, the feedback, and everything that's going on. I really mean that when I say that. I just really appreciate it. This is a dream come true for me. I know you guys know it's a lot of work to do this, and you guys just show me so much gratitude for that on my end, and I just appreciate you guys. So I got a great story here for you today. This one comes in right around my local area, so that's really phenomenal. I'm really excited about it. In fact, I mean, there's some areas in here that were right where I was when I was a kid, so I mean, I love it. Just an update. So I've been saying that I want to get onto a schedule, and I've had some other suggestions for it and that as well. I do have to do that, man. I just got to kick myself in the butt, and I got to get this on a schedule. So if you have any suggestions on days that you'd like it to come up that are better for you guys, and I'll kind of maybe take a poll on that. I have an idea what I'm thinking, maybe Monday and Wednesday. Let me know if you think I should do like a live. I've been thinking about doing something live once in a while. So if you guys would like that, let me know. And maybe I'll try that and see how it goes. But that's going to... the monster truck go by, right? That's something that's going to take a little bit of figuring out, but I can get that figured out. I keep saying that the store's almost open, but with the holidays, it's been a little bit rough. We did get some stuff done. We got some cool hats and stuff done. Samples just to show, and some shirts and some other stuff. My daughter made up a new logo for me. I'm really excited about that. You guys are going to love it. Maybe I'll upload a sneak peek of that. And then what's next? We got some other real important stuff coming up. I can't disclose yet, but you're going to want to stay tuned. This is really important, so that's going to be good. And I think that's it for now. I want to get on with this story. So this is going to be fun. All right. The Bigfoot Abominable Snowman. Hello, sir. My name is Jeb, short for Jebediah. I love that name. How come do people still use that? That's a great name. I was named after my grandpa and my dad. I'm 70 years old and I retired to Florida. I grew up in the Finger Lakes, New York. That's right where I'm at. Area, and lived there up till about 20 years ago. I don't know if you've ever heard of Marengo, New York. Yes, I have. I lived there for a little while when I was a young man. It sits somewhere between Rochester and Syracuse, just north of Seneca Lake. It's barely a dot on the map. You're kidding. My father was a small dirt farmer most of those years. He had to work side jobs to make ends meet. Most of the time it was hard to keep the lights on, let alone eat a square meal. More than once he told Ma he wasn't hungry and he'd sit out in the living room while us kids ate. Eventually he had to lease the land out to a bigger farmer and take a job at Parker Hannafin. I know Parker. It was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. Him and my uncles loved hunting. I mean any kind of hunting. My uncle would drive off the road if it meant putting meat on the table. My father was the same way, only he didn't risk running his truck into the dirt when it was the only way he could make money. Sounds like my uncles, my grandpa. We did a lot of trapping for rabbit, fox, muskrat, and whatnot. Back then for meal and for fur to sell at the tanner. That was a big help during the tougher winter months. Sometimes we did really good. Their favorite pastime was nighttime coon hunting. They lived for it. And to be honest, so did I. It was the only time my dad would let me stay up late, and I felt like one of the boys. Once in a while, he'd even let me have a drink of his beer. It wasn't coon hunting if you didn't have a beer, he'd say. But don't tell your ma, or I'll have your hide. Of course, I never told because I knew he meant it. We used gas lanterns to see where we were walking, and my uncle carried a big chrome flashlight. I remember them. For shining in the trees. I don't know if you've ever coon hunted, but they hang out in the trees. When the light hits their eyes, it looks like two little reflectors shining back at you. It's the same with possums. Sometimes they get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, if you know what I mean. Anyway, one late night in October, we were out walking the hedgerow in our field. The ground was covered in a blanket of snow, and it was cold and windy that night. Probably not the best time to hunt. If I remember right, we had to walk out into our neighbor's field. My father had permission, but he generally didn't go that far. My uncle turned his flashlight on and shined it into the trees. He would sweep the tree line up top, then come back down low at a good click so as not to give the raccoons time to hide their eyes. If you caught their eyes right, they'd freeze in place. But if you gave them a chance, they would look away so you wouldn't see them. He was scanning down low about 10 foot up when something caught his eye. He instantly stopped and told Dad, "There's one, there's one." My dad quickly pulled up his gun, but stopped just as my uncle hollered, "Wait, Jeb, what the hell is that?" They knew at that point it was probably wasn't a raccoon or a possum. The eyes were far apart and big and red. A raccoon's eyes shine green. A possum's eyes shine red, but are small and close together. At first I thought it was a horse, but then a horse's eyes shine more white. My dad asked my uncle, "Do you see that?" My uncle said, "Yeah, what is it?" As he held the flashlight straight in its eyes, I could see the light shaking a lot, so I looked at my uncle's hand. It was shaking pretty bad. I asked him, "What is it?" And my dad said, "Hush, boy, I don't know." When he asked my uncle, "What should we do?" By that time, my eyes adjusted enough for me to see what they were staring at. I thought for sure it was an abominable snowman like you see in the cartoon Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. From what I could see between those trees, it was huge and gray, white in color. The face looked like a cross between a man and a big light-colored gorilla. All at once it leaned back and lunged forward and let out a scream that would shatter glass. I swear it stood 20 to 30 foot away from us, and I felt that in my chest. My uncle stumbled back and dropped the flashlight in the snow. My father told him, pick it up, pick it up." He quickly grabbed it back up and was trying to wipe the snow off. Of course, that's when it decided to act up and stop working. He shook it back on again and again, but by the time he got it to stay on, that thing was gone. We just stood there staring at the woods for a while in shock and disbelief. All you could hear was our heavy breathing. I asked my dad, "What do we do?" Him and my uncle looked at each other for a moment. My uncle said, "I think we better get out of here before it decides to come back." We quickly walked back to the house. I was relieved to be home and said to my father, "Wait till Ma hears about this." My dad grabbed me by the coat, bent down to me and said, "Boy, if you ever mention this to your mom, I'll tan your hide so bad you won't be able to sit down for a month." I asked him why. He said, "Because it would scare the heck out of her. It might even give her a heart attack. Do you want to give your mom a heart attack?" I said, "No, of course." He said, "Plus she might think we got drunk out there and would never let us go out again. Do you want that?" I said, "No." My uncle also insisted I never speak of it again other than with them. I looked at my dad and said, "Okay, but I'll never forget those eyes." He replied, "Me either, boy, me either." That was the last time we spoke of it. Didn't go out night hunting again the rest of that year. The next year we did go out, but only on our field. I still remember my father sitting out back staring at those woods. So that's my little contribution to your channel. I've known my whole life that Bigfoots are real. I still went out hunting and never seen another one after that. I figure if it wanted to hurt us, it could have. You're welcome to use my first name if you like, but that's all. My wife knows about it, and my oldest boy knows about it. That's it. I just thought it might be fun to hear you tell my little childhood story about my dad, uncle, and me. Thank you for sharing all of the good people's stories on your channel. I think you're a good enough fella. Yours truly, Jebediah. Wow. Man, I love it. Except for the fact that I went coon hunting with my uncles out in Marengo. Marengo's not really big, but there is a lot of woods. And to think, who knows what I was out there with. Now, if I think about the timing right, I mean, if you're 70, I'm 54. That means if I was out there in, it would have been the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. So you would have been out there probably the 50s or 60s. So I don't know if that thing was passing through, if I lived out there or what. But I do remember being at my uncle's house in Maringdo, and we were standing outside by his garage and heard something screaming out in the woods. And I was like, I mean, it sounded like a woman screaming out there. And he said it was a bobcat family or something like that, or a leopard family is what he thought, a leopard or a bobcat or something. I don't know. I don't think we have any leopards around here, but he swore there was, if I remember rightly. But maybe he meant a bobcat. But it screamed out there, you know. And it's weird because some of these programs, they do like some kind of a Scream to Bigfoot programs. But that is really cool. Jeb, thank you for sending that to us. I really appreciate it. That's a lot of fun. Man, right in my stomping grounds. How cool is that? Your uncle and your dad sound like my grandfather and my uncles. So that's really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I want to thank you again for tuning in and watching my channel. Put your comments in there, suggestions if you have any. You guys are phenomenal. I just really appreciate you. And let's get off to a great year. Maybe get this on a little bit of a better schedule and just see where it goes. Oh, and I do want to get out on location at some point here. I got a couple places I want to go, so maybe we could get something out set up for that. I'd love to do some interviews or something like that, but for now, I guess that's it. I will see you again really soon. You guys have a great new year. I hope you have the best year ever. Thank you again, and take care.